Okay, so I was under anesthesia today, and it was my third time being under anesthesia in my whole life, and I'm 30. And this was the first time where I wasn't scared, because the other two times I was like terrified of being under anesthesia, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like it sounds scary, and I don't know like what it really means, and you can die from it and stuff. But this time I was just like, well, it's whatever, like I've done it before, nothing's crazy is gonna happen, and if it does, like we're only here one time anyway, so if it's the this barely happens, it's safe, blah blah blah. So I was like, before they did it, I was like, yeah, I don't know if I really need it, because maybe I just don't really need it, and you could just do whatever you're doing without it. And the doctor had told me I didn't need it, but he was like, oh, but most people just do it anyways to have it so that they feel nothing. And I was like, okay, whatever. And he's like, we're just gonna do a little bit. And I was like, okay. And the little bit was a lot of it, or I don't know if like my body has just like gotten used to it, or they put a little too much, like I'm not sure, or they didn't remember me. But this happened to me last time too, but I couldn't really remember it after it happened. That was chocolate. I couldn't really remember it, but this time, because it happened again and it had all been within a year, like I remembered it more. So it was like, I don't know if it was a dream or what it really was, but I had turned into a line, and that line was like, everybody was there. It was everyone that had moved on from the life here on earth into the next life, and we were just all traveling in a square. Like it was a pink square, and we were all traveling in a square, and we were all together. And it was like, it didn't feel like it was bad. Like it didn't feel like necessarily good, but it didn't feel bad. It just felt different. It was like we just kept traveling in that constant flow of moving in a square, and we were all together, and like it felt like I was back with my mom, kind of. But it was just like kind of weird that it was just like I was like a line, like I wasn't like a human anymore. It was like I turned into that line that was just with everyone else, and we were all just moving, and it was like we were reliving like our whole life, kind of. And I need to move because there's bugs. But yeah, so after that, I woke up, and when I woke up, my eyes were not open. Like I could not open my eyes at all. So I was just like laughing. Like I was laughing hysterically, like uncontrollably. And in my head, I was like, okay, you're crazy. You've turned into the crazy Harley Quinn that got trapped in her little jail, and you can't stop laughing. And it was like the most I have ever laughed in my entire life. And I was like, I didn't know what was funny. I just knew I had to keep laughing, and I couldn't stop. And I was just like, what the hell? Like, and I kept asking like everyone around me, am I dead? Am I dead? And they were like, yeah, we've heard that before. And like they were kind of being mean, so it was kind of like a weird experience. And I don't remember cursing a lot, but I do remember being like, what the fuck did y'all give me? The fuck did y'all give me? And at one point I heard someone say ketamine, but I don't know if they were talking to me or they were just talking, because like it was like I was awake, but I couldn't open my eyes. And if I could, I couldn't remember opening my eyes. It was like I was like knowing who the people were based off of our past conversations that I had there. And I was like, did the doctor see me? And they're like, no. And I'm like, oh, that sucks. And I meant, like, did he see me acting crazy after? And they said no. And they kept coming, like the nurses and everyone kept coming near me, because it's like you're like in a little bed after the procedure with like a bunch of other people that just did it near you. And it was just like a small, like, I don't know, it was like a big shot for pain that I have and in my spine. And it was apparently it's like a quick thing, but I was there for like, I guess too long. I was there like 3 hours, which is long. And I don't know if it was because the after effects of the anesthesia, like me not being myself, but that's what I think happened. And like before I went under the anesthesia, they were like, do you do drugs recreationally? Do you drink? And blah blah. I was like, I drink like once a month. I don't do drugs. I've never done drugs. She was like, you can tell us, we don't judge, blah blah blah. I was like, no, I don't. I never have. And after like the procedure, when I was on my way out, one of the ladies told me that I reacted this way because I don't do drugs, and that it's a good thing, and that I don't do drugs. And I was like, it was a good thing that I acted this crazy. And she was like, yeah. And okay, so anyways, after I started laughing uncontrollably, I was like, am I dead? What the fuck did y'all give me? I couldn't stop laughing. I was like, something was just hilarious for some reason. And then finally I got to the point where I was like, I miss my mom. I miss her so much. And I kept saying it over and over, and like I couldn't stop. It wasn't like me talking. It was like something inside of me. Like I don't know what it was, but it was like just something inside of me saying, I miss my mom so much. I want my mom. I just want her here. I want my mom. Even though like I felt like I was with her when we were traveling all together, like everyone that had passed in that square. So I just kept saying, I want my mom, I want my mom. And then I started saying, I really need a hug, I need a hug, I need a hug so bad. And one of the nurses came and like gave me a hug. And like, I don't really hug people. Like I'm kind of like a to myself, don't touch me person. And I know that I took one of my arms, I was hugging her with one of them on her back, and then I took one and I put it around her neck. Like I was really hugging her. And I didn't care like if she hugged me. I just wanted to hug her, even though I kept saying I needed a hug, I need a hug, I need a hug. It was like I wanted someone to hug. And after that like wore out, I started saying like, I wish someone cared about me. I wish anyone cared about me. I wish someone cared about me. Like I just kept saying it and saying it. And then I heard someone like say, aw, like they felt bad or whatever. And after that, like someone came in, I was like, I'm so cold, I'm cold. And they gave me a blanket and they were like, just like sleep a little. And I slept. And then they were like, your ride's here, you're ready to go now, you've been here too long. And I was like, okay, I'm not ready to go though, I need to sleep more. They were like, you could sleep at home. And while all this was happening, the anesthesia guy was like, she did this last time, because it was my second time going there in the year. And they were like, she did this last time. And I was like, I do not remember this happening last time at all. And they were like, keep her quiet, she's scaring all the other patients. And they like, someone came up to me and they were like, I didn't realize I was cursing, but they were like, okay, you've been cursing like a lot, so you can keep doing what you're doing, just stop the cursing. And I was like, okay. And I think I stopped, but I was like, oh, and it was like I couldn't stop myself from doing it. But I was like, what the hell am I doing right now? And then when I left, and then one lady came up to me and she was like, "Are you an actress?" And I was like, "No, I wish," or something like that. And then when I left, I was like, I asked everyone, I was like, "Did you hear me?" Because I felt like I was like, because if everyone could hear me and was scared of me, like, because of how I was acting, I figured like the whole place could hear me because it's not that big of a place. She's like, "Yeah, I did." She was like, "Are you an actress?" I was like, "Oh, you're the one that asked me if I was an actress." And she was like, "Yeah, because some people come in here, they do one thing or they do another, but you did it all. You did every single thing." She was like, "At one point you were like the Indians." And I was like, "What do you mean?" She was like, "You were going like this, wah, 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 wah." And I'm like, "What?" Like, I don't remember that at all. And then when I left, like when I was going out the door, the last girl was like, "Did you hear me?" And she was like, "Yeah, I did. You kept cursing and you kept calling everyone bro. Everyone was bro." And I was like, "Oh my gosh." Like, I didn't remember calling anybody bro at all. So that was hilarious because my students would call me bro and it would just piss me off. So I'm not like the person to call people bro. Like, I don't do that, but maybe like something in me like made me want to do it to them. And yeah, so that was my anesthesia experience. And I'm not trying to scare you guys, but it was just like, this has never happened to me before, and it was just kind of weird. And I just wanted to remember it in case it ever happens to me again. So one of the nurses told me to tell the doctors that I'm opioid naive because I don't do drugs. So I didn't even know like what even anesthesia really is, honestly. But yeah. All right, bye.